my God. All right, so the first main room I walk into, this vintage Walt Disney World Days poster is staring right at me. Now, it didn't come in that frame originally. That was set inside of it. They only wanted $12 for it. That's a great price. That poster comes from 1986. As you'll see here, there's one in a frame for $60 plus $34.50 shipping, and one without the frame for $30 plus $9.95 shipping. So that was an easy decision to pick that up. I didn't see any sold comps on it recently. There you see me grabbing an alligator plush, and I always grab any alligator or crocodile plush I see. There's a Ziggy bell that I found, and there is a Mickey Mouse bell for $2. So bells are also collectible. We'll go back to bells in just a second. Now on to some things we didn't grab. This I've had before, and Miss Primetime had one from when she went there back in the day. But the Mickey back scratchers don't sell well. There's still a million of them out there. This one had potential. Never mind the lint. That stuff you could always just get off. But you could see that staining in there. That's really set in. That's a real pain to try to get that stuff out. So this is not worth it for that Mickey doll, so we left it. But this one I picked up for $1, and there's a specific reason for it. I always say to look for things that have Mattel on it, and there you see, there's the name Mattel right there. Vintage Mattel stuff is just golden. Now, Mrs. Primetime chucked a few things into my box, including this one, but you could see there the tip of the nose is missing. So I had to make sure I mentioned that to her, and she's like, oh, yep, and so we put it back. So always look on nose tips, any kind of extremities and stuff, things could fall off. She picked up these as well, these little books with the dolls on the front of them. Now, just having the Mickey and Minnie one doesn't really sell. We're just putting together a little collection of Mickey and Minnie things, and then we'll just wind up selling it. But if you had the Donald Duck and Goofy one with the book, then that would sell for about $25 or so. The Seahorse Bell. It's funny that was in there. Mrs. Primetime found that there's my Primetime spy cam from the day before when I signed up. I saw the bells, and I wanted to grab that Seahorse one, but Miss Primetime grabbed it before I could get to it. All right, well, this is a ceramic mold of Pinocchio. Keep in mind that these were originally white and then hand-painted by the owner. So depending on the paint job and the condition, I'll decide if I want to pick it up or not. And for only $1, it was an easy decision. This is in great shape. So I gave it a double tap for good luck and hope to get between $20 and $30 out of it. Now, I always love to pick up vintage towels with famous characters on them. It doesn't matter if it's a beach towel or a bathroom towel. This one having Mickey Mouse all over it for only $1, an easy decision to grab that. Someone will be nostalgic for that and pick it up. Now, don't pass these types of things up, these bag clips. They could be missed because they're plastic and they look kind of cheap. But as you could see here, similar ones could sell for as high as $65 in package or around $35 outside of the package. That's a different one that I got, but I'm just trying to make a point to not pass up on those bag clips. Now, this is an incredible piece right here. I could not find any comps on it, just doing a quick search. But who knows what this is? That's right, just gave it away right there. Laugh-In, famous show from the 60s and the 70s. Sakatumi, Sakatumi. Give me a round of applause for Laugh-In. I mean, someone is just going to absolutely love having that. It's going to give a room a nice 70s vibe. Not that bad inside. So just had to put it in the box there. And as you'll see a little bit later, we're going to make great use out of this garbage can for a little friend we come across. Mrs. Primetime picked up Haikyuu, game that she and I used to play as a kid, and this big magnet as well. Really just for her. Well, maybe the magnet she'll try and sell, but the Haikyuu was just for her. So I'm heading down the basement stairs following Mrs. Primetime. In fact, if you want to see a fleeting glimpse of Mrs. Primetime, look up in a moment to the top right corner of your screen, and you'll see her sneaking away right there. Yeah, right there. See? Now, those nutcrackers, we'll come back to those a little bit later. And this is me, speaking of a little bit later, coming back later and just refilming the walk into this room because there were a bunch of people there and I didn't want to get them on camera. So you'll see that there's a table there. And earlier when we came into the room, now we'll go back to earlier, this is Mrs. Primetime and I exploring these rolls of paper. And as you could see, they're quite bright. And there's a lot there. I mean, this would just roll and roll and roll if we just, kept extending it outwards. And there's a lot of Disney characters on them. So, we're getting a closer look at it, and you could see there Mrs. Primetime is opening it up there, and it's from Kraft, and it was put out to commemorate Disneyland's 25th anniversary. So this was made in the late 1970s. So what I think this is, although I'm not 100% certain, but I think these were tear-off sheets because they repeat over time. That would have been used in like a restaurant or something, when people would sit down. So we wound up getting 7 of them for $4 a piece. They originally wanted $5. So I have no idea what we'll do with that comp wise. We have to try to confirm what it is. If anyone else knows, let me know. I just put this in there because it reminded me of what I feel like post-COVID, and I know a lot of you do too. So definitely go out and get more exercise now with the warmer weather. That's what I'm trying to do. So gave his belly a double tap for good luck. Mrs. Primetime found this as well. It's a milk glass New York State World's Fair cup. So that was cool. So just added that to the lot. And then Miss Primetime found this Fisher-Price musical chime, and I'll show you this in more detail in a future video when we go over her finds. But I'll show you what she plans on doing with this piece. She got it for just $3. And then she left, and I stayed behind to go into this room and check out all of these books. And so this was a fun time. You know how much I love to go through the books. And let's start on the top of the bookshelf here. All right, well, this is a red flag. Whenever you see this many copies of the same book, unless you were lucky enough to come across somebody who happened to stockpile a bunch of rare books, then, you hit a home run. But, with this many copies of so many different books, it's a sign of overproduction. And if you look up the comps for all of those, they're just really not worth much at all. Even if you were to combine those Barbie books together, it's still not worth investing, $1 a piece into them. You're just not going to get much out of it, believe it or not. So that's one of the important take-home points I want people to get from that, because with kids' books especially, these types of books are actually the ones that are worth more money, the ones that are more obscure, like this old storybook that I actually used to have when I was a kid. So seeing it brought back great memories. This one could sell for about $28. Pick that one up for $1, and then you could see the the cool color illustrations inside. Looks really nice. So that's a much better investment than any of those Barbie books, even though just based on the cover, it's not as noticeable and not as famous. Now, this one I have shown before. This is a huge home run if you ever come across it. The Big Tidy Up. This book always sells for big money. Now, that one there sold for $80 plus $3.50 shipping. I'm showing you what the inside of it looks like. That one was a 4th printing. Okay, the one that I have here, as you'll see in a moment, this one's a 2nd printing. So there's just a lot of people out there nostalgic for this book, and it has a low print run, and it just sells very well every single time. I think I sold it for around like $75 the last time I had it. Now, this one is interesting, and this shows the importance of paying attention to the details, because if you look on the back, what do we see? Dr. Seuss. I showed it real quick, but here you can see again inside, there is a Dr. Seuss story that not many people have heard of, and so I am going to promote it that way when I list it. The other people who have it listed are not paying attention to that because they don't mention it anywhere. And there's Barbie. She's talking to me, trying to convince me to take her home. But sorry, Barbie, it's another example of something that's not worth that much, even though it might look cool. Now, this Japanese record might, not strike your fancy as much as Barbie does, but these actually could do pretty well. And I have a bunch of other Japanese records I still need to sell, so I'm going to combine that with those. All right, so now let's look over here. And this is something I saw a million people just walking by and just, skimming the covers over like this, moving from side to side. And then, that's it. Jumble the papers up a little bit, just do a little surface box skimming, and that's it. And I have said so many times in so many videos over the years that you need to dig. Take your time. It's worth it. It will usually pay off. And now let's look at what we see here. So this is a nice solid piece from 1942. You can see it says clay tablet. Tablet is a word often used for yearbooks. Now, I've shown in the past why it's important to look inside of yearbooks, because people put things inside of there, such as the Coney Island pass I found weeks before it burned to the ground, and I sold it to a Coney Island collector for around $100. But look in the back of this yearbook. You see a bunch of things attached to it, including this signed piece from Vincent Lopez. Now, we'll go over that in a moment in terms of why that's important. But if we turn it to the side, you will also see here that we've got a little booklet here from the Hotel Taft in New York City. We'll dive into that a little deeper in just a moment too. But look down at the bottom. This is the big treasure, folks. You know what that is? There it is. That is an original signature from Frank Sinatra. That's right. Frank Sinatra himself signed this. Now, this is very consistent with how he signed his name right around that time. Again, here's the original signature on the back of the yearbook, and here's how Frank Sinatra signed his name at the time. Just for having his name on a piece of random paper, people asked $700, $900 for it. And, there's sale prices for around $1,000, again, just on like a random piece. But this is much more historically important. We've got Ziggy Elman there. There's another signature. Let's dive into this in more detail. All right, so we're back here at Primetime Treasure Headquarters because I want to take a deeper dive into this piece compared to what I was able to do when I was at the sale. And wait until you see how various elements of this book come together to really make a unique historical piece. This is really a one-of-a-kind. There's something in the back here that I haven't even shown you yet, which is also amazing. So let's take a deeper look, and then we'll head back to the estate sale. All right, so let's start with this really cool meal coupon voucher booklet from the Hotel Taft at 7th Avenue and 50th Street in New York City. The Hotel Taft was named after former President William Howard Taft. It's not called that anymore. It's called the Michelangelo, but the building still looks like this on the outside. So I love this, that it has the illustration here in this oval shape. It's really nice looking. I also love that it has the name of the person who used this voucher booklet, Mr. Jack Wilkie. We'll get back to him in just a moment. Now, I also like that it has the room number, so it makes it more personal, and it also gives instructions to the person on the front of what they were supposed to do with this. Now, we're going to open this up and take a look inside, and this is great. An added bonus that it actually has one of the vouchers still left. Now, you could see here that there were some other ones that were removed, but this is great. It's stamped. It says where the person came from, Claymont High School. It also has a date on it, which is also great. Doesn't have a year, but we could reasonably figure out the year. We'll go over that in a moment as well. And importantly, it says that this was only valid in the Taft Grill. That's hugely important because the Taft Grill was one of this hotel's most famous features. There was an orchestra there that performed on CBS that was called the George Hall Orchestra. They were sometimes known as the George Hall Taft Grill Orchestra as well. But perhaps more important than that, and definitely more important, relevant to this booklet, is that there was someone who performed at the Taft Grill for 20 years. And he broadcast a radio show there that was called Shake the Maracas. Who was that person? Right here, Vincent Lopez. And what I love about this too, when you look closer, it says Vincent Lopez will be glad to autograph this card in the grill of the Hotel Taft. So that helps to link these pieces together more. Now, if we go over here, I want to give you a further close-up of the Frank Sinatra signature right there. This is the Ziggy Elman signature. Now, this one over here, I'll give you a close-up of this again because I have not yet been able to figure it out. It looks like it says Buddy, and I thought it might have been Buddy Rich, but it doesn't quite look like the Buddy Rich signatures that I've seen. So then again, maybe it is Buddy Rich. I mean, you know what? The more I think about it, it might be. That could be Buddy Rich. So let me know what you think, because Buddy Rich was known to perform there. And I have nothing else closer as an idea of who it could be besides him. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. All right, so let's go back down to the bottom of this book, and it says Hotel Astor. This is hugely important because the Hotel Astor was a hotel in Times Square, New York City, from 1904 to 1967. And guess who is known to have made early appearances there with Tommy Dorset's band from 1940 to 1942? You guessed it, Frank Sinatra. And this is how we could start piecing various parts of this together. So it brings us back to Jack Wilkie from Claymont High School. Because where is this book from? It's from Claymont High School. What year is it from? 1942. And who do we know that went to this high school in 1942? You guessed it, none other than Jack Wilkie. Now, if you thought that was amazing, let me show you one other thing. There's more on the back of this. We have got a menu from the Hotel Astor. I'll turn around so you can get a better look at it. Well, here's just the small part. I have to be careful because I don't want to detach this from the back cover, but it does wrap all the way around to the top of that page there. So to have a menu from such a famous New York City hotel that's no longer there anymore, that is associated with so many important figures in music, particularly Frank Sinatra, is just an incredible piece to have. So very happy. So it was a real easy decision to pick this one up and put it inside of the box. And then I went back in and pulled out even more treasures. This one here by Carl Flesch, The Art of Violin Playing. That's book 1. And then I reached back in and pulled out book 2. And they were incredibly well preserved for their age. If you look here, similar ones sold for $125. So pick those up. I mean, I would have been happy if I just found that at the sale, let alone the Frank Sinatra book and the Laughing Garbage Can and all the other things. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with this. This could be a total bust, but I figured, why not? There was something drawing me to this gigantic, freaky-looking doll. It was the googly eyes. I mean, the size played a role as well, but those googly, I love googly eyes. Cookie Monster is the best googly eye doll in existence, but this one was pretty cool and, you know, kind of had like a freaky look to it. Some people call it creepy and haunted. There's comps for googly-eyed things that go for crazy money. Those are not comparable. You know, one of them, for example, the first one is all bisque, meaning that it's made of bisque porcelain, but this was only $1. So I figured, why not just take the chance? So I was going to put it in the refrigerator to scare Mrs. Primetime, but decided against it because it was too dirty. Stop! Get away from me! All right, so I put it inside of the Laughing Garbage Can. I told you that it would come in useful, and there it is. All right, now back to the nutcrackers that I showed you earlier. You know, nutcrackers could go for good money depending on the make and the model, where they were made. You know, the original ones come from Germany. I just showed you a nutcracker guidebook that I purchased a few weeks ago in an estate sale, and I already have that one listed with another nutcracker book. But as you can see on the bottom, these are just cheap nutcrackers that came from, you know, outlet stores. And they're just not worth much. So, even some of them had, pieces missing off of it, like buttons and stuff. So you got to be careful with these. Now, I did not have 3 items to choose from for the ceramic challenge. So I just grabbed this one, this ceramic chick planter. So just got to clean it out. And that's it. So that's what I picked up and had it out of there to, just get a total price and call it a day. All right, everyone. Well, there you have it. The total cost came to $68. We found so many amazing treasures in there besides the Frank Sinatra piece. It was incredible. And then even after that, Mrs. Primetime and I went out garage selling, but I'm going to have to do a separate video to show you all the amazing stuff that we found there too. So it was just a great day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out Stephanie Fava's eBay store. I'm going to put a link to it in the description section and in the comment section. She's a member of the channel, and I promote all members of the channel, not only here, but also in my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. We've got 26,000 people there, and I put the link to the store right there at the top of the announcement section, and a lot of people there make sales, so it's well worth it. It's for every member at the $1.99 level and above. So check it out, and I'll see you back in the next video, everyone. Take care.